Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive.
Always exciting.
Today, we're going to be talking about art conservation ethics.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah, and it was actually inspired by a recent episode of Art Conservation Talks,
Okay.
the one that kind of got into all the ethical dilemmas that conservators face.
Right, yeah.
It's just got me thinking, this is a field where history, science, and philosophy kind of all collide.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think when we consider every touch, every decision that's made on an artwork, it echoes through its lifetime.
Right, and so that makes me wonder, where do we even draw the line between, like, preserving a piece of art and restoring it?
Mm-hmm.
And what happens when the ideal treatment just isn't feasible because of budget constraints or, whatever.
You had some really key points there. I think the definition of art conservation itself can be a little bit slippery.
Yeah.
Some people think it's just restoration, but it's actually quite distinct.
Okay, yeah, so break that down for me. What's the difference?
So you could think of conservation as preventative care.
Hmm.
It's all about stabilizing a piece, slowing down deterioration, protecting it from further damage, and really respecting the object's history, even its imperfections.
So it's less about making it perfect and more about just, like, keeping it from falling apart.
Exactly.
Okay.
So a conservator might apply a facing to a fragile paint layer, almost like a temporary bandage,
Oh, okay.
and they try to be as minimally invasive as possible.
So where does restoration fit into all of this then?
Restoration really focuses on actively returning a work to its original condition, or at least what we think the artist intended.
Right.
And so this can involve much more invasive techniques, almost like art surgery.
Oh, wow. And so that's where all these ethical dilemmas come in, right?
Exactly.
Because how much is too much? Are you trying to erase the history to get back to some idealized version?
That's the million-dollar question, and unfortunately, there's no easy answer.
Right.
The ethical considerations are huge in this field.
Yeah.
You're constantly weighing the original artist's vision, historical context, the integrity of the materials, even the needs of future viewers. It's a lot.
Wow. It sounds like you need a degree in moral philosophy
Yeah,
to be an art conservator.
pretty much.
But let's be real.
Hmm.
There's the art side of things, and then there's the reality of money.
Absolutely.
I can't imagine every piece gets, like, the Mona Lisa treatment.
You're so right. Money, unfortunately, plays a huge role.
Yeah.
The ideal treatment might be incredibly expensive, requiring rare materials, specialist cutting-edge technology.
Right.
And so what happens when a museum or a collector just doesn't have the funds?
Yeah. That's got to be so frustrating. Knowing what should be done, but just not having the means.
Absolutely, it's a constant struggle.
So how do conservators even approach that?
It's all about finding a balance, and this can be a painful one.
Yeah.
So they have to weigh those ethical considerations with the cold, hard facts of the budget.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes this means choosing a less effective but more affordable option.
Oh, so it's like a constant trade-off. What's the long-term impact on the artwork, though? Because if you choose, like, the cheaper option now, it's just doomed later on?
It's a worry for sure. Delaying proper treatment could mean further deterioration.
Right. It's like ignoring a cavity and hoping it'll go away.
Exactly.
So we've got these incredible ethical dilemmas at play. We've got this big question mark hanging over the whole thing about money.
Yeah.
And then there's this whole other concept of reversibility.
Yeah.
Is it even realistic that we can undo these conservation treatments?
It's one of the hottest debates in the field.
Really?
It's a beautiful idea in theory. Any intervention should be reversible without harming the original,
Right.
but achieving complete reversibility is so difficult, sometimes impossible.
Why is that?
While many treatments use adhesives or consolidants to stabilize fragile materials.
Okay.
Think of them like glues binding things together.
Right.
But once those substances are applied, they become part of the artwork's physical structure.
Mm-hmm.
And removing them entirely could do more harm than good.
It's like trying to unbake a cake.
Exactly.
So are we essentially stuck with the decisions that are made now, even if, future generations have better technology or a better way of doing it?
It's kind of like that, and what's considered safe today might be viewed as harmful tomorrow.
Right?
It's a humbling reminder that our knowledge is constantly evolving.
It makes you realize that art conservation isn't just about these technical skills. It's like this whole philosophical discipline.
Absolutely. You're right. It takes scientific knowledge, historical understanding, ethical reasoning.
Yeah.
But it also forces us to think about the very nature of art itself.
Right.
How much can we alter it before it loses its essence?
Yeah.
And what does authenticity even mean in the context of a centuries-old object that's been touched by so many hands?
Those are big questions.
They are.
I'm guessing there are no easy answers.
Not at all.
But that's what makes it so fascinating.
It does.
This field where the stakes are so high, the choices are so complex, and the impact of those choices stretches across time.
Absolutely.
Wow.
It's a lot to consider.
It is.
Yeah, it really is a lot to consider.
We've been talking about this balancing act between like preservation and restoration.
Right.
And all the ethical considerations.
Yeah.
How does that play out like practically?
Yeah.
What about situations where a compromise isn't an option? Like the ethical choice as the expensive one.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it this way. Let's say there's a large-scale mural.
Okay.
Maybe it's deteriorating rapidly.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way to save it involves this incredibly specialized team.
Okay.
And materials that are sourced from like a specific quarry in Italy.
Oh, yeah, I see where this is going.
Yeah, that's not going to be cheap.
No.
But ethically, if that's the only way to preserve the artwork's integrity, like,
Right.
what choice do you have?
You can't just let it crumble.
Exactly, but then you're faced with this question of funding.
Yeah.
If the museum or the institution just doesn't have the money,
Right.
what happens then?
Yeah.
Do they try to fundraise?
Right.
Do they reach out to private donors? It adds this whole other layer of complexity.
It makes you wonder, are there artworks out there that are being neglected simply because of this?
That's a really valid concern.
Yeah.
Ethical guidelines stress that, like, the perceived value of a piece
Right.
shouldn't influence the quality of care it receives.
Mm.
But reality is budgets exist.
Yeah.
It's easy to imagine a scenario where a lesser-known work kind of gets put on the back burner
Right.
while resources are funneled to these more high-profile pieces.
It almost feels unfair.
It does.
Like those less famous pieces are being discriminated against.
Yeah.
But then again, I guess you have to prioritize somehow.
It's a tough situation for sure.
Yeah.
And it highlights the importance of public awareness and advocacy.
Okay.
You know, the more people understand the importance of art conservation,
Right.
the more likely funding is to increase across the board.
Right?
It shouldn't just be about saving the Mona Lisas of the world.
Yeah.
It should be about preserving our entire cultural heritage.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
No matter how big or small.
Exactly.
We were talking earlier about preserving versus restoring.
Right.
And this whole concept of reversibility keeps coming back to me.
Mm-hmm.
You were saying that it's really difficult,
It is.
sometimes impossible.
Mm-hmm.
But why is it so important?
Well, it boils down to respecting the artwork's journey through time. You know,
Okay.
every touch, every intervention becomes a part of its story.
Right.
And we as conservators are just one chapter in that long story.
Okay.
And reversibility, even if it's not fully achievable, is a way of acknowledging that future generations might have different values,
Yeah.
different technologies, different understandings of the art itself.
So it's about keeping our options open,
Exactly.
not closing off possibilities for the future.
Think about it this way.
Yeah.
What if a treatment that was considered safe 50 years ago turns out to have these long-term negative effects?
Oh, wow.
If it's irreversible, there's nothing we can do.
Right.
But if there's even a possibility of undoing it or modifying it, we're giving future conservators the flexibility to act in the best interests of the artwork as they understand it.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Knowing that complete reversibility is often a pipe dream,
it is.
what steps can conservators take to, like, minimize the risks?
Documentation is
Mhm.
key.
Okay.
Meticulous records of every step, every material used,
Yeah.
every decision made. It's like leaving a roadmap for future generations.
So it's about transparency,
Absolutely.
being honest about the choices that were made and, like, the potential consequences.
It's not just about recording what was done.
Yeah.
But also why it was done.
Right.
What were the prevailing theories at the time?
Mm-hmm.
What were the limitations, the compromises, the unknowns?
Right.
That kind of context is invaluable.
It makes you realize that art conservation isn't just about the present moment. It's about taking this long view of history.
It really is. And it's a reminder that we're not just working on these objects, we're collaborating with them and with the people who will encounter them in the years to come.
Wow. Wow, this has been such a fascinating conversation.
Yeah, it has.
And honestly, a bit humbling.
I agree.
It makes you realize how much goes on behind the scenes to protect all this art that we often take for granted.
It's true.
You know, we've talked about all these tough choices and limited budgets.
Right.
It's almost like every piece of art is on its own journey, you know, facing its own set of challenges.
I love that analogy because Each artwork does have its own unique story, its own vulnerabilities and its own needs.
Right. And sometimes those needs come into direct conflict with the realities of funding or resources, or even just our current understanding of conservation.
Absolutely.
So that brings us back to this central question of ethics.
Right.
How do conservators navigate those situations where doing the right thing for a piece of art
Yeah.
might mean going against the grain, maybe even challenging the status quo?
It's a balancing act for sure.
Yeah.
You know, conservators have a responsibility to advocate for the art, to
Right.
be its voice in a way. But they also have to operate within the constraints of their institutions, their budgets, the ethical guidelines of the field.
So it's not just about knowing the science and the techniques.
Well,
It's also about being able to make those tough calls.
right.
Stand up for what you believe is best for the artwork, even if it's not the easiest path.
Exactly. It takes courage, conviction, and a deep understanding of the long-term consequences of every decision you make.
You're really thinking generations ahead.
You are.
We've talked a lot about the financial side of things,
We have.
and it's clear that money plays a huge role.
Absolutely.
But I'm curious, are there other ethical dilemmas that kind of pop up?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Ones that aren't so directly tied to budgets?
Definitely. For instance, there's a lot of debate about how much weight should be given to the artist's original intent.
Oh, interesting.
So is it always the ultimate goal to return a work to how the artist envisioned it?
Right.
Or do we acknowledge that art kind of evolves over time? That later interventions, even accidental ones, can become part of its historical significance.
It's almost like asking who owns the art once it's out in the world.
Exactly.
Is it the artist,
Right.
the conservator, the public?
It's a big question.
It is. Those are the kinds of questions that keep conservators up at night.
Oh, absolutely.
I bet. And there are no easy answers.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Each case presents its own unique set of challenges
Right.
and forces us to really re-examine our assumptions about our history,
Yeah.
even the nature of time itself.
It's been eye-opening, to say the least.
Good.
This whole deep dive has completely changed how I think about art conservation.
I'm glad.
It's so much more than just fixing cracks and cleaning surfaces.
It is.
It's a field with incredible depth complexity.
Mhm.
And dare I say, even a bit of poetry.
You could say that.
So what's the one key takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with?
I hope they'll remember that art conservation is a field of constant exploration, ethical consideration, and unwavering dedication to preserving our shared cultural heritage. You know, the next time you're standing in front of a work of art,
Yeah.
take a moment to appreciate not just its beauty,
Right.
but also the unseen hands that have worked so tirelessly to protect it,
Yeah.
to ensure that it can continue to inspire awe and wonder for generations to come.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
Well, on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the world of art conservation ethics.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.